Great. Now this time the camera worked. That's good stuff. So hopefully, I was thinking of continue doing line art on this guy. See where that leads. Hi Orby. Good morning. Good morning. I really need to find time to set up like affiliate and all these things. I just don't have time to sit there and fiddle with all the settings. So I'm hoping that at some point everything will solve itself. I also haven't had time to fix my 30-minute warmup.com, but it's getting there. I hope at some point. Yeah. All right. So I think I'll do some line art, like I said. But let's start the timer. And I was looking at this before the stream, and I didn't like the details I added here. It took it to a place where it's more like medieval or too fantasy. It didn't feel sci-fi enough. So maybe it was the nails. Hey, good morning, Mean Machine, or good night, depending on where you are in the world, I guess. I think for a lot of you guys, you are in the middle of the night, which is pretty cool, which is an interesting aspect of internet, that your day should have ended already, yet my work day just started. Hey Eric, good morning. The latest couple of concepts have gotten a great response on internets, so that makes me happy. People showing appreciation to my mind is always enjoyable, you know. I find that aspect to be very a very intriguing aspect of being creative. It's like I spend my days working, and my work is to sit and come up with things like no one have seen before, which is a really odd thing to do as a profession. You know, sit and design something that people will go, oh, what's this? Which is really such a weird thing when you start breaking it down and kind of rationalize it, right? It's very, very odd profession, which is a cool thing. Is that, you know, I have the luxury. I'd say it's definitely a luxury to do that. To be able to just do what you want, but also be creative. You know, so it's, in a way, it's a very how to frame it, not harmless in a way, you know, art and all that in that aspect. Yeah, Eric Moy, you know, that there is comments like that, you know, and it makes me happy, you know, because I do focus on the idea of things rather than just um, drawing things that people like the look of. On, you know, there's a difference. You know, I could have easily gone the route of drawing like sexy women or things like that. You know, that sex appeal and so on is, you know, you can't argue that it doesn't exist. I mean, it's hardwired in our bodies, and especially male bodies, the whole testosterone and the monkey aspect of being a human. You know, and it's nothing wrong with going that route. Uh, but me personally, I enjoy the idea more of creating something new and interesting, and that requires an experience to kind of, I don't know, enjoy. Maybe I'm putting my work on a pedestal in an odd way as well by saying like, oh, it's not just a sexy woman. Maybe I'm just kind of full of myself in that aspect. But maybe I just like the challenge. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it. I mean, obviously everyone should be able to draw what they want to draw, and who am I to you know, say otherwise? Hey, good morning, Georg Kilrathi. How's everyone doing? But I mean, must be doing something right in that sense, because people uh, like the designs so far for this challenge, which is great. And for some reason, I mean, it's not um, there. I noticed that disregard is for some reason it was another sentence I started that I stopped talking about. I noticed on the gallery submission page of the ArtStation challenge that there is like different tabs you can click, like newest submission, popular. Um, there was like two more. What was it? I need to check that out quickly. Twitch streams, no, popular, following, completed, and latest updates. You know, I'm looking forward to see um, what people submit. I look at everyone's every other challenger, their submission page, and there's some really interesting ideas in there. But unfortunately, for me at least, a lot of those um, entries, uh, they all sit in the same space, and the downside of that is you're competing with everyone that does the same thing, right? And unfortunately, um, most people have gone the route of what is to be expected, um, of saying like, oh, what's the future for humankind? A lot of people goes post-apocalyptic, and you know, they don't um, maybe they don't spend so much time thinking about um, the challenge one step further. Maybe they just go you know, like comfort zone, and you know, that's completely fine as well, you know. That but the problem with going what everyone else is doing is that you're placing yourself in the exact same category. and then it just becomes who does the best version of the same topic. And that might not work in favor for a lot of artists, you know, where maybe the best drawer, the technical artist, will win because they just present the work better. You know, things like that. That's one risk of always do like trendy topics. That's great, Georg. Not that you you won't make it, but oh no, I've seen a mistake here. Actually, no, it's okay. It doesn't need to be a mistake. Let's keep developing. I think this ArtStation challenge is a bit weird. It's a little. I think it's the deadline is a bit odd for 10 characters. I think the best would be if you would set the deadline to like 5 characters or 6, so you can do 3 each. Because I think 10 characters in a month for a competition, it's a bit. I mean, it's a bit too much to do, especially if you want to do it good. You know, spend some proper time developing the concept. And I mean, if doing a character a month, sketching or drawing and concepting the whole thing up, it shouldn't, you know, not a problem. 2 shouldn't be a problem. 3, you know, but 10, I think it's a little bit, you know, to do a proper good job for those who have a job or other responsibilities. It's a little bit hard, like you say, Georg. Like you're not gonna have time to finish it, which I think a lot of people won't have. Hey, Rix. I will do flat shades. I won't have time to render everything. So I'm going for line art this time around. So just flat shades with one like shadow indication, and but the alien, the white alien, it's not finished either. It's just at a state where it's more work done. But my idea is to go through all the characters and bring them up to that state, and then when they are all at that state, I'll go back over all of them and refine them. You know, better presentation, more details, more care for the line art, change some details and so on. But if I don't make sure that all characters have line art and basic value design, I'm not gonna have anything to show. So at least I'm gonna have a minimum to show at the end. So that's my goal. But yeah, definitely. I think they expect people to be able to work faster and faster. But recently, I've been thinking about that a lot, and I think it's great to have a good pace, for sure. But there's always going to be a time where where speed versus quality, quantity versus quality. At what times should you slow down and think about what you're doing more than how fast can you get it out? Because there's a lot of artists that they are fast and they do great work, and there's also other artists that are fast that they should slow down a bit, especially when it comes to what's the word, variety. Because a lot of times when you do something fast, you have to lean on comfort zone, and with comfort zone comes a lot of what you've done over and over again, and that in return can be a problem, when you have to design a lot of things and you don't know how to vary it up. I mean, like the whole thing about 10 characters in a month, that is that itself is no problem. Like if you're working, right, you should be able to do that. But it comes down to how much time do you have for it as a working artist, or a father, or a husband, or a boyfriend, or girlfriend, whatever. There's also a life out there. There's also responsibilities like work, etc. So that's why I find 10 characters in a month um, a little bit too much to do, because of what everyone had spare time to do. The only reason, for example, I manage a little bit more now is I squeeze it in on the warm-ups, right? But I mean, how easy would it be if I didn't, you know? And for other people, like Bjorn, etc., it's hard to find the time to be able to devote to something that requires so much of you. Same then goes to like portfolio, that comes also into play. Like how hard do you need to work for it, and so on. Hey, Captain Jetlag. Good morning. Good morning. But yeah, about speed and so on. I think speed is good if you can control it. If you can't, then it's better to slow down and make sure that what you're doing is correct, rather than you can do a lot of mistakes in a short time. It doesn't sound so good on paper. But you should, like, in theory, you should build up your speed rather than start running and figuring it out as you're running. That's never a good idea. So the best is, like, practice fundamentals. Of course, you have to pressure yourself, and you have to try to up the rate of work, but it also has to be controlled, because, like I tell my son, do it correctly first time, take your time, and otherwise you're just going to have to go back and do it again, and it's going to take at least twice as much effort. So in a way, it applies the same for speed. If you, it's okay to be fast, but if you can't do it correctly, what's the purpose of doing it fast? There's no use in being very quick and make very fast mistakes. That's how I see it, at least. But I'm also very production oriented. There's different people doing different things as well. Obviously, like illustrators or technique. So it's just not one solution to of what I'm talking about. It's my opinion in probably my experience, rather than it's the truth. Yeah, I mean, all challenges are really great for forcing you to up your game. Like I've talked about this before on the stream, but the it's great to do studies. It's great to sketch. It's great to work on portfolio pieces, etc. But if you never apply it in under pressure, like where you have to perform, you're not going to use the information fully. What I really enjoy with doing competitions is that you really have to apply what you know, and because other people's will look at it, automatically you're going to try harder, and you're going to use your knowledge in a completely different way than just doing it on and off on your spare time when you have time while not watching soap operas or on TV or whatever, thinking like, okay, I should work on my portfolio, and so you take some time and you're on Facebook at the same time chatting with your friends, and you're not really like applying yourself the same way as knowing that you're in a competition now. There's thousands of people watching. Uh, you better step up. It becomes a completely different mindset automatically, obviously, as it should be. Hey, Howard, 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 Captain Jetlag. Oh yeah, definitely. Um, there's too many projects and too little time. What's Yeah, that's always the risk, like of having your own IP, etc., that you're working on, or your portfolio work, and then a challenge like this comes along, and you have to uh, try to squeeze in both. But in my experience, like what I learned in the beginning of being a father was you gotta focus on one thing and do that to the best of your abilities, rather than try to do everything at once and just do half-assed job on all of them. So what I try to do, even though that now I do have a little bit too many projects on the side and a challenge and father, etc., etc., um, is that I do it by day. So okay, it's Monday. Today is the day when kids go to bed. I will be doing that thing, and then I can focus only on this. Then knowing that okay, I'm not going to touch it until Wednesday, or you know, so that I juggle. I juggle a lot, but I think it's important, that there's challenges and also that you have room to apply yourself to them, because that's how you grow, through fire. Kata Rosser, I doubt it. They don't really go and look for artists. In my experience, they filter through checklist what is needed, criteria wise. I doubt that they go and look at hunting clients. They just filter for the art director, as far as I know. I doubt that they go and look at competitions. But I can be wrong. I don't know. I don't know enough people like that to have a proper answer for it. Who what? Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, if you have stuff that you need to apply yourself into, you're gonna grow, without a doubt. And having a lot to do is better than having nothing to do, I'd say. All right, getting there. We're getting there. So I was thinking that this guy, he should have like maybe more of a trail. So it looks a little bit more captainy. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't necessarily need to do with age per se, but I think it's about life experience. And I mean, there's a lot of people, regardless of age, that have a problem with switching off, and relaxing. While it is very important to be able to do so, because it helps um, helps to grow, and arrange the information in your mind so that you can use it. That's what I think. Where are we? 2.5 minutes left. I think today it was a pretty okay. Definitely starting to define the character more, which I think is a great thing. Good step in the right direction. Starting to get a feel over like density of details and stuff like that, like pose and rhythm. little bit confused over what should go where. Maybe I could cheat. Oh yeah, Hubad. Join the Discord. Links underneath the stream. It's a bunch of cool people hanging out all day, helping each other. Do it, do it, do it. Captain Jetlag, yeah, procrastination is horrible. And there is these programs you can install that logs your time on what window you're active in, and yeah, you don't want to know how much time you spend in Facebook, but using an app like that, you will know quite fast of your online activities and how much procrastination and time sinkholes there are by going on social media and just clicking around and reading posts and text and things like that. I mean, just look at this 30-minute warm-up, right? If looking back at streams, and when I'm reading comments, I'm not sitting and drawing, and the time is just ticking. And the amount of work I can do, depending on how much I sit and read, is so obvious, you know, and it's a bit crazy when you think about it, and how much can be done just by sitting and reading some text that someone is writing in the chat, you know, which is even crazier. But it's indication of how much Facebook and Instagram, etc., are just sinkholes of time. Captain Jetlag, I think that is definitely the correct way to do it. You know, like setting a goal and then just focus on it, and then having it as a realistic goal when it comes to time. Like, I should do this during these hours, and then you do them, and you don't do anything else, and then after that I can start doing XYZ. All right, time's up. I got this far today. Starting to come together, I think. I think with a value pass as well, I think this design will just be reading better and better. But as it stands, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. It's starting to look mean. So thanks everyone for coming. Have a great day. Good night. See you all tomorrow morning. Join the Discord. Follow blah blah blah. Insert standard end of stream bullshit. All right, everyone. Have a good one. Bye. Here comes the outro.